Saxon Math 7-6. This is our review for the final exam. Oh, I'm sure, final exam review. Okay, I'm going to just run through some details about what the test will look like and the logistics of how we'll take it. The test looks exactly the same as it would have looked if we had been meeting in person all this time. Nothing has changed in the test. And it will be similar to what you've seen on our midterms. We've already had 2 midterms this year. So there will be 10 questions, and they'll be worth 5 points each. And to earn full credit, you'll need to show all formulas, equations, and calculations. This piece of information is so important. Hi, Gracie. Gracie's come to be petted. So I'm petting her with my left hand as I talk. This is so important that I write it on the front page of each and every test that I give, because I want you to understand that in order to earn full credit, you have to do more than just give me the right answer. The right answer in and of itself is not enough. You have to show me how you figured it out. You don't necessarily have formulas and equations for every single problem, but if you use them, or if they're required to solve the problem, then I want you to show me. Some students go, how far are we supposed to take this? Are we supposed to write down like 8 times 5 equals 40? No, you don't have to be that extreme. The best guidance I can give you is that you should be showing me the same level of detail and the same steps in your work that I show you when I teach you the concept, right? So whatever I'm showing you should be similar to what you're showing me. And as a general rule, always, well, not even as a general rule, as a specific rule, always format your problems the same way that I format them for you. I do all those things for a specific reason. I don't always, explain every single reason why I put it the way I put it, but you should recreate my presentation of the problem exactly in the way that you do too. So that's my best rule of thumb on this. I want you to take the test at the regular time. I mean, if that is even regular anymore. Take test at your regular, and I'm putting quotes around that, class time, because we haven't met at that time in a long time. For you guys, that would be about 12:30. Right? You used to have lunch from noon to 12:30, and then we would gather right around 12:30, 12:35. So that's when I want you to take the test. In order to make that happen, I will drop off the test around noon. Even though we're in Snohomish County and we're technically in phase 2 now of Corona Madness, I will use the same procedure. I'm just going to drop it at your front porch, and you can pick it up when you get around to it, right? Sometime around noon. I will be messaging with your moms to fine-tune the timing of that. If you have any questions, you can speak up. Okay, so you're going to drop it off around noon. I'm going to drop it off around noon. You're going to start taking it around 12:30, and then I will pick it up at 2 p.m. Now, that gives you a ton of time. Because I'm having your older siblings take their Algebra 1 final they'll start at 1 p.m. That gives them a full hour to work. That gives you more like an hour and a half. Shouldn't take you that long. You should have plenty of time to finish, but if you need more time, call or message me. And you can have your mom do that too, whatever's easier for you. But reach out to me if you need more time. I can make that happen. I just need to know not to get in my car and drive. Okay, during the time that you're taking the test, if you have any questions, call or message me. Okay, I'm here to help you. And just so you know, The reason that I'm so particular about the time that I want you to take the test and when I pick it up is because while my students are taking this test, not just you, but the other 2 classes as well, I am sitting at my dining room table with my math books in front of me, not getting distracted by anything else. I want to be here and available to you if you need me. So I want to be available at the right time for you, right? I want us all to be on the same page. So that's why I'm particular about that, is because I don't want to miss any phone calls or not be here to answer questions when students need me. So imagine me sitting at my dining room table just waiting for you to ring in with a question. Okay, the other reason that I'm being particular about the pickup time is that I plan to grade your tests as soon as I get them. So I'll grade and give you your score as soon as possible. And by that, I mean before dinner on Thursday night. Our test is next Thursday, by the way. I don't think I said that. Thursday, I believe it's June 11th. I'll grade it and give you your score as soon as possible before dinner. And then the other thing is that if it should happen, I always tell my students that if anyone scores below 80%, I may assign some additional work. Now, let me just say a word about that. Additional work. If a student is just losing, a point here, a couple points there, they're just having a bad day, there's just some, little bits of sloppiness in their work, that's one thing. I have a lot of grace for that, and I can live with a score that's close to 80% as long as I feel like the student basically gets it. They were just kind of having a rough day. That's different to me than a student who has a couple problems that they just choke on, that they just get like a 0 or maybe a 1. They just forget what they're doing, and they get very little points on that problem. I don't want to leave you for the end of the year with a feeling of failure. And to say it conversely, which is more what I want to say, is I want you to end the year on a high note. I want you to end the year thinking, I rocked that class. Next year, I've got nothing to fear. I am ready to go. I am strong. I am invincible. I am a math scholar. That's how I want you to end the year. So if I feel like there has been a problem or two that might steal that joy from you, then we're going to go back and we're going to fix it before we call it quits for the summer, because I want you to end on that high note. So that's what I think about when I'm thinking about whether or not to have my student do a little more work, is how's this going to set you up to succeed in the future, okay? So we'll worry about that if we get there. I have great confidence in you. I don't necessarily think you're going to get too close to 80%. So make me proud. Okay, 2 additional items. That you will give to me when I pick up your test. And I'll remind you of this in writing, but the first thing you're going to do is give me your completed assignment checklist, and I'll show you what I mean by that. This thing. Right? This is the schedule we've had. This is the one since January, right? Since Christmas. I check it off as I teach the lesson. I've been circling the videos. You check it off as you complete the homework, and then what we've been doing is having your parent check to make sure that you actually did the work, not to correct it, but to just look at it and say, yeah, it looks like they did some good work here. And then they sign off. I have not checked this since COVID began. So what I want to do is I want you to give me your copy of this sheet when you turn in your test, and I want to see all those signatures, bump, bada, bump, bada, bump, all the way through to the end. See, I circled all the way to the end. And after I finish this, I'll go review for final. I've done that one. So you make sure that you get A, all your homework done, and B, get this sheet and your homework notebook to your parent before the test so that they'll have time to check it, whether it's your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa, or the older siblings can do it too. But somebody needs to sign off on this showing me that you did all your work, and I want you to give me this sheet when you turn in your test. That's what I mean by completed assignment checklist. And that's the only other thing that I want you to do. One additional item, okay? All right, so that tells you what the process is going to look like. Second, I'm shuffling papers, making noise. That's what the process will look like. There's one other thing that I want to say to you that is always so important when you're getting ready for a test, or really just trying to learn. This is where we all get stuck. When you see a problem, the first question that you'll ask yourself is, what is the first step? How do I know what to do first in a problem like this? The further you go into math, the more complicated the problems are, the more steps there are to remember. This is the crucial question that will help you succeed on a test, is to look at a problem and ask yourself, what's the first step? And another way of saying it is, how do I know what to do first? You have to find clues in it. I try to help you see those clues when I teach, but it's imperative that you be able to answer that question for the problems. What's the first step? How do I know what to do first? So think about that as you are studying. All right, let's do a list of the lessons that we've studied lately, what they're about, and whether it's likely that they'll be on the test. Yes, it's likely to be on the test. No, it is not going to be on the test. Sometimes I add a maybe to this, but if I say no, that means no, it's not going to be on the test. If I say yes, that means it's fair game, but I don't guarantee that it will be on the test. But no is a guarantee. If I say no, then you can just kind of cross that one off your list, right? Okay. We are going to start with lesson 120. It is about triangles, the different kinds of triangles. I'll give that one a yes. That's possibly on the test. All right, we're skipping the investigations just in case you didn't get the memo on that. We never do the investigations. The next one is about sales tax. Yeah, it's possible. I wouldn't rule that puppy out. Finding a percent. Yes. $117. Mass and weight. I'm going to call that one a maybe. $116. Unit multipliers. That's a yes. And I'm even going to put a star by this one because we're going to be building on this concept in future years. And this is something that shows up in physics and chemistry, other branches of science that you may be studying. So it is super, super, super foundational. And I really want to make sure that you have a strong and it's hard, they're complicated. Especially at this level, it seems like we're taking something easy and making it so much harder. There's a method to the madness. So I really want you to get this first step into it down. So 116 for show. 115 is when we have mixed measures. It's like when we're adding hours and minutes. Yes, for sure. This is a real life math thing that I see so many adults struggling with, you guys. I don't want you to be those people. 114. This is mean, median, mode, and range. Yes. I'm not going to write them all out. Median, dot, dot, dot. Yes. One 13. Ratio problems. I like these. We're going to build on those too. And they also are something that show up in higher sciences. 112. Finding a percent of a number. Yes, we're going to spend a lot more time working on this next year. So I like for you to have a really strong foundation. 111. I'm going to call this division stories. These are tricky division problems where you have to use your head. It's like, if we have 36 kids and we have 5 cars, how many cars do we need to drive to get all the kids to the fair, right? Stuff like that, where you have to use your head in order to find the answer. You can't just divide. You have to think about the answer and what would make sense. So, yes, 111. 110, symmetry. I mean, this is cool. It's interesting and important. I guess I'll say yes. I was going to say no, but I think it's possible. I want you to know. It's kind of fun. It's an artwork. 109, no. I'm not going to test you on this. This is corresponding parts. We'll talk a ton more about this next year. Maybe even 2 years out. But for the future of your algebra life, we're going to talk about this. I'm not going to test you on it now. 108. Transformations, no. It's not juicy enough. This one, oh yes. Wait. 107 has 2 topics. There's one about the angles, and then there's one about two-step equations. So the angles are no, but the second topic in 107 that's about two-step problems, that's a yes. Okay? In the practice problems for this lesson are F and G. That's the kind. F and G. That's the kind of those are perfect examples of what I would choose for the test. 106. We're getting a good stack of yeses. 106, area of complex shapes. Yeah, that's possible. 105, no. It's using a compass. And it's talking about pi. Wait. I would say yes, not the compass part, but the pi part. Yes. Circumference. Okay, and so this part, no. This part, yes. And I want you to know that the circumference equals pi times the diameter, or another way of saying the same thing is the circumference equals pi times 2 times the radius, right? Because 2 times the radius is the same as the diameter. So these formulas you should definitely know. .104 is using proportions to solve ratio word problems. Yes. 103 is cross multiplying. It's a yes. 102, I'm going to fill the page. 102. Perimeter. Okay, we did areas of complex shapes, and here's perimeter of shapes. Where was it? Areas of shapes. I said yes to that, so I'll say yes to this. 101. Proportions. And this involves cross multiplying. Those all kind of blend in together. $100 was circumference activity, no. $99, almost done. Volume of a rectangular prism. Yes. And to remind you, this is volume equals area of the base times the height. And we'll do one more, 98. Oh yes, this is my tried and true, you guys. I guarantee you we're gonna have a problem on this. It's the old fraction, decimal, percent tables. I'll show you. I've been flipping through the book as we talk. So, I'm talking about, here, I'll do it this way so you can see the light better. I wouldn't put this many, but it's this deal where John gives you one element of the row and then you have to create the other two, right? Make sure you can do this. When I think about Math 7-6, when I think about what I want my students to understand before they come into algebra, this is it, okay? So before you begin algebra 2, or algebra 1/2, I should say, I wanna make sure that you totally get how to go from fractions to decimals to percents in any order, right? I want you to be able to translate between these languages. This to me is the essence of what we've been trying to accomplish this year. So I'm definitely, I guarantee you, take it to the bank. We're gonna have one of these on the test. Okay, that's my list. Remember that as you're studying, the question you ask yourself is, what's the first step? What do I do first? And if you can answer that, chances are you'll be able to complete the problem successfully. If you have any questions, message me, reach out to me, have your mom ask me. I'm here to help you prepare. Good luck.